Alright, check it out. So, I want to pull the trigger on one of these for a while. Like one of these older analog oscilloscopes. Just because, I mean, recently the stuff that I've been working on and restoring, these old, analog CB radios from like the 70s and stuff. I wanted a better way to test the modulation. So, got this on eBay, 60 bucks. It's actually local, so I was able to pick it up for free, no shipping. But it's a Tektronix 2215. And that will kind of give you an idea of how old it is. I think that's the date, 96-8-220. I mean, that's probably the last time it was calibrated. I think it thing's from the 80s, though. I do actually currently have a oscilloscope now. It's Willock. I think it was made in Germany, or it was designed in Germany. I can't remember. But funny, they still make firmware for this thing. I just updated their firmware about a year ago. Pretty good spec in that scope. But man, with the digital scopes, man, sometimes they're not great at detecting old like modulation and stuff. So I wanted to see better modulation pattern when I'm testing these radios, the output of the radios, and see how well they're working. So yeah, I could kind of see it in the digital one, but for 60 bucks, yeah, I've always wanted one of these analog scopes. So yeah, I mean, I didn't want to obviously spend a lot of money on it because it's like I'm never hardly ever going to use it. Maybe a couple times a year. Because even my scope that I have now, I've gone a year or two without using it. So, but I also wanted something pretty basic. I didn't want like some overly complicated scope where I have a gazillion dials and things to try to figure out and read the manual for days. Just because I don't use it for that kind of stuff. I don't need to have every little function available. So, it does have like, I don't know if that's something that's spilt on it, or if that's, I can clean that up or not. There's some stuff right there. It was from the ITT Barton. So I don't know if that's ITT like the school ITT or like Barton. So, I'm going to take it off and take it apart and clean it up. But there is some inherent issues with these scopes from this era. Other videos I watched online and everything. So it's the capacitors. They have these weird capacitors that are almost like guaranteed fill. So they smoke a lot too when they go off. But in the picture of the video, the guy had like a video of it working. At least I could see a single dot, so I might just have to mess with this. But so this first part of the video will be just to clean it up, maybe fire it up. But I want to look inside before I fire it up. I want to look at the, what's it called, the capacitors. And it looks pretty dirty. What's funny is that I forgot how small these scopes were. Like, I was thinking this thing was bigger than it was. So that's kind of cool. I'm glad it wasn't some gigantic one. Like a 465 is a lot bigger, I think. So, clean up all the connections. I'm going to clean up the switches. Put some DeoxIT in the switches, the pots. Alright, I gotta clean up my bench because I'm designing some antennas and stuff. So I gotta finish that stuff so I can get some room on my bench. Alright, let's fire this thing up. Yeah, the main thing with these older radios, and then, like I said, those depth caps, is they're like almost like guaranteed failure. But that's the thing that always makes me nervous about these older devices. Yeah, so I mean, usually I'd like to take a look inside first, but yeah, I could hear some popping, crackling. Well, it's funny in the picture that it showed the guy didn't even get a power light. This is the power light. Okay, I'm getting a power light. God, yeah, these things feel so crunchy. These knobs. Beam find. All right, so it is working. Yeah, that was a little crunchy. I heard some crackling when I turned this thing on. Oh yeah, all these things are just wow. Well, I mean, this thing is probably 40 years old or more. Yeah, I wonder if there's like a date code somewhere on this thing. Like I said, this is 96, So I'm guessing that was the last time it was calibrated. I'm not sure. Yeah, this thing, this on and off power button seems like it's stuck. So it's still on? Yeah, it's still on. I can't even turn it off. Alright, so I figured out who ITT Barton is. They do instruments for, looks like oil and gas. That's what it look like. ITT Barton, oil and gas field equipment. Yeah, we actually have a lot of oil around here. And there's tons of, I live in Southern California. We have tons of oil, Signal Hill, the whole LA County. It's oil wells everywhere you look around here. There's actually even oil wells right down the street from here. I live in the West Newport Oil Company. Yeah, even this plastic here, which is reference only, it's so old, it's not even peeling off really. It's kind of just breaking off. Ow, wow. Something splashed on this thing. So I'm just going to use a little water. Like, I don't want to try anything extreme to get that stuff off the screen. Yeah, I don't know if that's into it or not, you know. Awesome, this thing came apart pretty easily. So just a couple of T15 Torx screws, 2 in the back, and then 1 in the front. The whole cover comes off like that. Alright, so most of the young people that watch my channel probably don't even know what a CRT is. I mean, they kind of know what a CRT is, but a CRT is a cathode ray tube. And yeah, like if you were born in like the last 20 years, I mean, these things have been out obsolete for over 20 years. I think in the early 2000s, everybody started going to flat panels, but back in the 90s, I used to go to swap meets and I'd buy computer monitors and computers, and I would refurb them. So I'd fix the CRT monitors, and I'd like refurbish like 286 computers, Windows 3.1, you know, before Windows 95. Probably like early 90s, probably. I was a teenager back then. So I want to go back, clean up all these little pots. Yeah, you just gotta be really careful with the CRTs just because it's high voltage. Especially this right here, that's the flyback transformer. And that's like, I think it's like 40,000 volts, or it's definitely, it can hurt on your day, man, for sure, no doubt. So, yeah, there should be probably a pretty big capacitor there. But yeah, back in the day, we get the things that usually go wrong with them are the horizontal output transistors. And I remember I had read a whole book on how to fix computer monitors, CRTs. Yeah, I probably fixed a few hundred CRTs, computer monitors. That was how when I was a college student, that's what I did. Yeah, I mean, I fixed and refurbished computers. Alright, Alright, so I gotta figure out this power switch. It's just basically a long plastic thing, but the switch inside is under there, so I have to get in there, take that apart. Like I said, but that's the high voltage circuit. So, but it looks pretty good here. I mean, I'm looking for those bad caps. And the cool thing is I actually have a service manual too, so that's awesome. I got it right from Tektronix. So in here, these pots, I'm gonna have to like clean these pots up in here. And yeah, I'll use a little DeoxIT right there for that stuff. And I'm just going to do some basic checks, look for anything burn out. Then this thing will definitely need a calibration. I mean, I don't see a lot of electrolytic, I mean, a couple right there, maybe I think that's what they are. I'm looking for electrolytic capacitors. But I'm going to look at the board is awesome though. It's not compact, there's no surface mount stuff. So that's cool. I mean, that's going to be make it easier to troubleshoot for sure. And it even looks like a single-sided PCB too. I do actually like how these are open up, but let me show you the potential, or I'm guessing the potentiometers or something like that. Some trimmer pot, or not trimmer pot, but just a potentiometer. So I can get lube on those ones, but this one it's already been worked on. There's also 89, a date on it, but it feels like it's stuck or something. So that might be an issue. Yeah, I'm super bugged. I just crushed one of these switches. I was barely pulling on it, but it was so brittle, it crunched in my hand. Arrgh. I mean, I'm 3D printing on the one, but it's Just trying to keep this thing all original. Yeah, now I'm a little worried about pulling these off. They're just going to all break. You know, I heard other people actually warn about that too, that these things break when you take them off, but I need to get behind here to lubricate all these switches. These things are all crunchy. So, I gotta get that cover off. So, I'm just going to be careful as I can, I guess. But like I said, this is old plastic, so I'll just have to redesign, make new switches for this stuff. You know, I'm trying to figure out how to separate this thing. It's almost like I feel like there's a screw. Like it might not even be possible to do it without taking the sticker off, and I don't take that sticker off. Like I feel like there's a screw under the sticker which holds the plastic on somewhere in there. So I might just try to get my DeoxIT in these switches. Like they all feel crunchy. They all feel they need to be lubricated, deoxed. So I'm gonna try to find a way to get in there and get it cleaned. All right, so I was able to get to all these switches without having to break these knobs. So if you guys are doing the same thing, you can get to these switches without breaking these knobs. So like I said, I'm going to design new knobs now. So, or I guess I could try to buy new ones maybe, if they have like replacements or something, but it's not really worth putting more money into, because I don't even know if I can get that fixed. But I'm going to go out here and spray down the cover with simple green here. I think I might keep the acid tag on there. It's kind of cool. Alright, just put lots of DeoxIT in there. Lubed it up pretty good. Still lubing it up. It's not locked up anymore. Alright, awesome. Yeah, it was totally frozen. I think that because it was so frozen, I might have broke the switch, so I gotta look at the switch. I'm just going to keep on lubing it up and deoxing it. Alright, so here's a couple other issues, areas I was having issues with, which is a flyback transformer, and this on and off switch was sticking. If you can see that, I'll change the light over here. Deox in there. I'm running out. Use this stuff so much. I'm going to turn it upside down so it flows into the bottom. And here it already pop out. Alright. Alright. So I'm going to let that soak, and then what I'm looking for is those weird caps. I know somebody already replaced them already. There were these odd looking, almost like rectangular shaped caps that were known to fail, pretty much 100% guaranteed. So maybe this thing has been recapped already, but I only see one other electrolytic cap, and that really large one back in there. So I think I found one of those caps. This might wash it out, maybe. Try not to get direct light on it. So that cap right here. I hope you can see that. It's like a rectangular, almost like translucent cap. And those are known to explode. I guess I turned them into smoke bombs. Alright, got a electrolytic right there. Okay, there we go. Now I see more in here now. Alright, now the light's horrible. I can get a better angle here. I'm kind of in the light here. Alright, it's getting better and better. The on and off switch. Yeah, the first pull, obviously, you saw it earlier, like it was sticking in, so it was staying on, you couldn't turn it off. And the flyback transformer, the focus. It's funny that it's bringing back memories, working on CRTs. Like, yeah, I fixed probably at least 100 monitors, probably. I was probably like 18 or 19 at the time. It's kind of like it was like a little side hustle for me, fixing computers and refurbing computers and reselling them, and like computer monitors and stuff. So, alright, as I'm doing stuff, cleaning things, letting things soak, I'm going to try to get some of those blemishes off with some toothpaste. So if you're not familiar with toothpaste, it's really good for cleaning lenses and stuff. Scratches. Because it's very, very slightly abrasive, almost like rubbing compound, but even less than rubbing compound. If not, it's not the end of the world. I mean, it's in the corner, so it's not going to be Yeah, I mean, I wish I didn't have it, but well, the blemishes look better. Let me put that in the light. Definitely a lot better. I mean, I could sit there and spend hours, but I got other things to do. I mean, I can always take it back off with 2 screws to fix the lens, or try to buff it out some more. But I'm not gonna. I can hardly see that. So, plus I don't want it to make it so perfect where I'm not gonna want to use it. It'll be like all bugged if I scratch it or break it. It's gonna be my garage, so. All right, so I need to go back, take those out of the thing, and then, yeah, I'm really bugged with these little buttons, because I broke, like they just shattered, but they all broke coming off too. But they're just like, you just touch them and they would crush. All right, so I definitely have issues in this time base control here. Like there should be an A and a B, so A works, but I should be able to pull this out and turn it and have it click. But actually, I saw another guy in a forum that had the same issue where the knob came out here. And you can obviously see all the cutting here and all the OK and stuff here. So it seems like there's been a lot of issue here on this control. So it seems like it's going to be a total nightmare, but I had to pull this board out. I think it's called the attenuator board. So I'm going to have to pull these knobs back off. And then maybe these set screws. Alright, so I don't think this thing is supposed to come out like that. See what's there? See how that has like a rough material? Well, it's supposed to be sticking on some kind of plastic. Glued or something. I mean, I could try to just glue it, but then it would be... Well, yeah, it's actually in there, though. I don't think that would be a good permanent solution, though. So it's supposed to be that. And you're supposed to be able to twist it. And so instead of twisting, it just pulls out. I don't think that actually it wasn't that hard to take out. Just figuring out what the right screws were. But what is that little thing? So if you get like scope experts, you're watching this video, what is that little extra PCB that's coming out there? It's soldered on there. So I actually had another guy that had the same exact issue as me. He said there was a Refa brand capacitor in here somewhere. I'm looking for it. Yeah, eventually you got to be careful of these little pins. That's how it connects to the board, but yeah, so I'm going to replace that now if I actually see it, the explosive caps. Yeah, maybe that one right there, maybe? That might have been replaced, that blue one right there. Not sure if you can see that, but it always makes me nervous. If you can see that chip right there. When you see a lead pulled up on an IC, and it's soldered into a resistor, and also a capacitor on there too. Like, I don't know enough about oscilloscopes to know what mod does what. So, like if I had to go back to the schematic, would it even show that? Or am I just going to be like trying to figure out what some like a tech did, or if that was like a service bulletin or what that was. All right, I'll just focus on one thing at a time. All right, so I think I solder sucked all these pins around here. What I'm going to do is take this off. I don't know if I remove that or just unscrew this here so I can pull it up and forward. Alright, so I can't believe I got most of this stuff up here. I pulled a trace up here, out through. Almost like I don't know if it's yeah. But then something goes on this side. I pulled it from the top, so I gotta make sure when I put this back that I get continuity with that stuff. Gotta fix that as much as I can, fix that trace as much as I can. Well, hopefully this video helps somebody in the future. So there's a little snap ring right there. I got to take that off. I need to separate these things so I can see what's inside there, and make sure when I do glue it back, it's going to be glued back correctly. Okay, so the only thing that makes logical sense is looking at this thing, at these, because you can't get this off because it's already snapped in place. Just take these little tabs off here. Alright, so I don't really know how they come out in sections or what they do, but hopefully the thing is keyed here. Okay, that's your little snap. Okay, that's your little snap dealy right there. That's what makes the clicking sound right there with the grease in it. But I'm hoping I can keep these in sections. I'm not even sure if they're potentiometers, so I don't know what they're called. So like panel sections, palette, I'm not sure what you can call that, but So it comes off these little sections right here. And when I mark them, keep them marked so I know this is number 1 going forward. Yeah, because I think it needs to be in an exact order. So, all right, so this is for my own future reference here. I know that goes like that. That little notch is on the top, or on the facing the bottom. Yeah, so this is the spring mechanism here. Okay, that's what I saw. That's, God, it's kind of a nightmare. Gotta have a lot of patience with this one. Alright, so I see the core root of the problem now here. What sucks is this is not keyed, it's keyed on both sides, and there's like a, I don't know why it's not in sync right there, but there's a notch on one side. I don't know if you can see that. It might be a problem, so I don't know how to even put that back together right now. Because there's double flat spots, and one has a notch on it. I don't know which one goes where, so, arg. Alright, so I used some little epoxy, but see how I drilled some holes through the plastic to give it a little extra bite. So a hole on each side. I mean, I was going to do maybe super glue, but the epoxy is way better for grabbing on the metal. I also kind of, I didn't show you, but I roughed up the metal a lot more. Kind of scratched it with my X-Acto knife here. It's been a couple days since I've been on this project, so I can't remember where I left off, but I fixed this thing right here. And there's no pictures of this thing. I mean, it seems like a lot of people online have the same exact issue with the broken plastic. So I don't know if I have it correct, but it seems to make the most logical, because I lost the order of the first one. So, yeah, either it's going to work or it's not going to work, but the notch, it's not very good how they designed it, how you can easily mix it up. But the notch on the internal wafer thing right here, that notch is on this side, on all 3. But like I said, there's no diagrams to even follow it. And like I said, I lost order of this first one, but I kept the order of these other 2. So it only made logical sense for this one to be the exact same side. So if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But yeah, I got it to go. So when it's in, all 3 turn, but then you can pull this out. That was the issue; it wouldn't pull out and unlock. Let me do that. So when it's pulled out, only this back one turns, and these 2 are not turning. So that's actually what was broken. You couldn't pull out and turn the back one manually. I mean, I don't know if that's the only problem. Like, I mean, oscilloscopes are extremely complicated devices, so, I mean, there could be more than one thing wrong with this thing, but I don't know. I already have another oscilloscope on the way. A Hitachi oscilloscope, too, that's coming in. So, I don't know what to say, I guess. I'm going to put it back together. Alright, so I got to slide the board back in. So there is a capacitor there I could replace. I mean, I guess this wasn't that hard to remove, but I guess taking the dials in the front, I just, I want to make sure that, before I put any more money in this thing, you know, I want to make sure it works. Yeah, because it's really, like, if it's not, I'm not going to buy it, because I can buy one of these for like $30 online. It's like $40 shipped, you know, but it's like the whole oscilloscope cost me $60, and it's not worth putting I don't need a $100 analog oscilloscope. I mean, this is really just for fun, anyways. Yeah, just be careful when I'm putting this board back in. See all those pins have to line up there. Yeah, I took pictures with my cell phone of how the cables go. Plus, I mean, I have this video that I can actually go back and reference. Got the board back in. Got it plugged in. Got my safety glasses on. I think it's making nerds. Yeah, especially when you're doing higher voltages too on CRT. Plus, I mean, all right, we'll see. Alright, I heard the CRT come on. I'm trying to see. Okay. Yeah, now it's having a lot of different issues. Okay, yeah, this might not be the only problem. Okay, let's see the time division. Ah, man. Actually, what did I do before? Actually, I gotta make sure I'm on channel 1. Yeah, didn't need to pull that out. I still gotta put the calibration things back on there. It's kind of working. What did I do before? Yeah, I'm still nervous about that plastic. You know, even though I super glued it, I mean, it felt pretty good. You know. Yeah, I don't think it was a very good design, you know, because that plastic there. I mean, a lot of people have complained. This is broken for a lot of people. You know, it wasn't like, and he should have had like almost like screwed in there. You know, it should have been like not really even like a set screw. It should have been like a metal collar or something in there. You know, should have just been plastic on metal. All right, so let me grab my my function generator. I'll put a signal on this thing. All right, so same as before. Maybe I'm not doing something right, but it seems like channel 1 has issues. Yeah, I know I can hook up to my other oscilloscope. Yeah, this is just, I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to put, I've already put probably 6 hours into this thing already. Yeah, I spent a few hours just dealing with that thing right there. Most of the time was in there. You know, the rest of the other stuff was just cleaning. Yeah, that's what I should be getting. That's what my function generator is putting on my other oscilloscope. Alright. Like I said, I do have another Hitachi coming in, like a $44 eBay special, but I mean, all I could see was a CRT was fine, but it seemed like just by looking at it, it seemed like this. In fact, this is on channel 1. Why is channel 2 picking up? You know, and why is that? It seems like it's the opposite of what it should be. You know, what's going on here? Look at this. Yeah, I looked at the manual briefly on this thing, but I'm trying to figure out. You know, I'm not sure how much more I'm going to play with this scope. Because I have another scope coming in, and this clearly has issues. Look at channel 1. Channel 1 is in the horizontal position. Channel 2 is in the vertical position. I turned off inverted. So, all right. I really feel like this time base has issues. I can't, look at it, turns off. It did this before too, so I fixed the B part of it. That's the part that was broken. I could turn the other two. I mean, it kind of does something, but the dial, like this thing clearly had issues right here. You know, and it's not, I don't know. So I like the way the Hitachis want to look internally. So if you're like a Tektronix like oscilloscope master, let me know if I'm doing something wrong here. But like, I'm sure this video is not going to get any views because I mean, how many people are actually working on analog oscilloscopes? Yeah, because this thing clearly had problems over the years. You know, I mean, look at the, you know. So yeah, I don't know if it's. I mean, I don't think I'd even buy another Tektronix, to tell you the truth, just because I've seen this design right here, and that's a guaranteed fail. You know. Guaranteed fail. That plastic thing in there, you know. So if I were to buy another one of the same vintage, you know, the same dial setup, it's gonna break. Guaranteed, it's gonna break. And then it's a headache pulling the whole thing off the board. You know, desoldering everything off the board, getting all the pins lined up correctly. You could buy a whole like attenuator board, you know. But so I might resell this for parts. Keep it. I don't know. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with the thing. But CRT works. I don't know what's up, man. All right. Should I just give up the whole idea of an oscilloscope, analog oscilloscope? I don't know. Just because they're all by this time they're already 40 years old. Yeah, I mean they kind of came out digital scopes in like early 2000s, early like 90s. So you know, every analog oscilloscope you're going to get is going to be 40 years old probably. So I don't know. Well, I got the Hitachi coming in. It was $44 on. Yeah, free shipping too. $44 with free shipping. So about $50 with tax. Hopefully I'll have better luck with that one. Alright, so if you guys know what I'm doing wrong, or you see something I'm doing wrong, let me know down below. Alright, awesome.